Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Commander review for Magic the Gathering. Today we are still in the Betrayers of Kamigawa set, and we are talking about Tomorrow Azami's Familiar, who is a legendary spirit. It's a 1/5, 4th power and toughness, and it has a mana value of 6, 5 generic and 1 blue. And then it has this long bit of text here, but this is a replacement ability in rather than like a triggered ability that we've been talking about recently in past videos. So this is a replacement text. If you would draw a card, look at the top 3 cards of your library instead. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order, which is really cool. This is kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of like an anticipate on a commander, which is really cool. It's an anticipate times 6 mana, because if I remember correctly, anticipate is 1 blue mana to cast. It might be 1 and 1 blue. So it's either 6 times the mana value or it's 3 times the mana value. Either way, very expensive. However, it replaces this with every draw. So if you were to draw 5 cards, you would instead look at 3 cards, pick one of those 3, and then put the other 2 on the bottom of your library. Then do that again a second time, and then a third time, and then a 4th time, and then a 5th time, which is phenomenal. So you'd still be drawing the 5 cards. However, you are actually looking at 15 cards with this, which is really, really cool. So yes, it is very expensive compared to doing something like Anticipate or Brainstorm or anything like that. However, it replaces every single draw. And in Commander, drawing is one of the most important things you can do in a game. Therefore, you're going to have a lot of draw engines and draw mechanics in your deck, which are now going to be amplified a ton by this Commander, which is really cool. There are no card rulings besides this card. Just remember that it does apply to every time you draw a card, which is really cool. So if you draw 1 card, you're going to look at 3, pick 1. If you draw 5, you're going to look at a total of 15 and pick 5 from among them. But you're going to do it in a repetitive pattern of look at 3, pick 1. Look at 3, pick 1. So just don't look at 15 cards and then pick 5 from them. You got to do the process 1 card at a time. A card I chose to synergize with this commander is from one of our newer sets, Dragonstorm in Tarkir, Winter Night Stories, which is just a great card. You can draw cards with it. You can harmonize it from your graveyard, which is really cool, especially because you can use this commander to help pay the cost. Sorta, kinda, because this commander has, let's see, you do it based on its power, right? Yeah, so it's like a flashbacks ability, as you can read the rules text here, but it allows your creatures to help pay for it. Tomorrow only pays for 1 of it because it only has a power of 1. However, you can still use your other creatures to help pay for this, which is really, really cool. And it's a great way to just be able to draw cards. Speaking of drawing cards, the deck that I am building for this commander is, of course, a Draw Matters commander, where the engines I'm building want me to draw cards because drawing cards make my creatures bigger, or they allow me to ping my opponents whenever I draw cards, or they allow me to mill my opponents whenever I draw cards. So the more I'm drawing, the better. And then having ways to reshuffle my deck and then do it all over again. A popular deck idea on EDH Rec is, of course, good old Drawing Matters, but this time we are taking advantage of like wheel effects, like Windfall. We want to just go through our library as fast as possible. Teferi's Ageless Insight is just another way that you can boost your card draw, and one of the ways you can win with this deck is Triskaidekaphile. This deck and the deck that I am building you could literally just merge these together and they would work beautifully because you're doing the same thing for both decks. The only difference is that in my deck, I am focusing on triggering things when I'm drawing cards. And this deck is focusing on just like getting as many cards into your hand as possible. So slight differences there, but both decks can work really well together. They're very interchangeable. And then lastly, as a fun, weird, janky build around, this is not one that is totally popular throughout Magic's format as far as I'm aware. When it comes to the popular artifact tokens that can be made throughout Magic, clues are the most popular for the drawing aspect, but from what I understand, and again, let me know in the comments below if I'm totally off base, clues are much lower ranked in popularity than treasures. And even right now at this age, I think because of like Lord of the Rings and maybe Fallout, if I remember correctly, and definitely one other like Universes Beyond set, or even one of the basic main sets, had a big focus on food and specifically life gain. So food tokens are also pretty popular from what I understand from Magic's recent set releases. Clues, however, we've had a couple of like clue-based commanders that are very good and very strong, but as far as like a mono blue clue deck, I'm not really sure I've ever seen or heard of one before. So this would be a lot of fun to hear your guys' insights, but this is a clue deck where you want to sack the clues, and then instead of drawing one card, you're going to look at 3 and put one of them into your hand. Yeah, and take advantage of that. Do some fun stuff with it. It gets you access to unique cards that care about investigating, or clues specifically. So this might not be the most strongest deck idea, but I think you can have a lot of fun with it because it is somewhat of an artifact-focused deck, and blue loves artifacts. So you could throw in some like constructs that want you to have lots of artifacts in play to make them really big. And then that way you are not only using the clues to draw you cards, but you're also using the clues to like buff up your artifact stuff or have affinity for artifacts. So this can take you in a fun artifact direction by having clues as your main theme, which I think would be a lot of fun. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And that is going to do it for tomorrow, Azami's Familiar. Really popular card. Even though it is a lot of mana to play, it's still really popular because it gives you that anticipate ability on a commander, and it just amplifies your drawing so much. Like I said, just barely. Whenever you're sacrificing a clue, you're not just drawing that one card, you're going to look at 3 and pick one, which is just a huge boost in drawing capacity. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think this can be a fun, maybe not necessarily high targeted commander. I don't think a lot of players are going to view this as a big threat unless you are like known at the table as like a combo player. Then people might be freaking out because you're going to be going through your deck really fast for those combo pieces. But I think in your more casual groups, this will be a very interesting, fun, draw-based commander that will allow you to build in interesting ways because you don't just have to focus on drawing matters. You could kind of focus on whatever you want with this commander, and you just get the bonus that you're going to get through your deck really fast compared to your opponents. So you could play an even lower tiered like tribal deck and still be able to go through your deck pretty quickly because of this commander, which is nice. Going off of its popularity, it does have a ranking of S. There's a lot of different deck ideas you can build with this commander if you go to like EDH Rec. And that is where I got a lot of the inspirations that I found for this commander. And it honestly was one of the things that kind of pushed me towards wanting to look at clues as an archetype, because I don't think I remember seeing it in the list, but clues are an integral part in drawing. They're very popular in Magic's history, but I think they could get a little bit of love from us as players, and I think this is the commander to do it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything I missed or I did not talk about. And stay tuned, like I've said multiple times, after this set, after we get into Saviors of Kamigawa, we're going to change a little bit of how the videos are done. I'm going to make them a little bit faster because I like keeping these short videos focused on what the commander does and how it works. And I'm going to be spreading these out intermingled with my Let's Play videos, at least till I can get more on top of them. The summer has been really busy, so I'm making sure that I can stay on top of this so you guys don't miss out on videos. So I really appreciate your guys' patience. I cannot say that enough. Thank you for your patience. And thank you so much for your support, guys. It's been really great to make these videos for you and make the deck lists for you guys that you've been requesting for. They are slowly coming, but they are coming to you. And go ahead and check some of those out. A lot of the ones in Legends should be getting deck lists by the time you're watching this video. And I'll figure out a more efficient or faster way to get those out to you guys in the next couple weeks. So thanks again, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!